Hello and welcome to ServiceDesk Plus Cloud Masterclass episode 2025. My name is Fahad, product expert from ServiceDesk Plus Cloud team, and I'm going to be a trainer for today's Masterclass episode. For all those who would like to know what Masterclass series is all about, we provide monthly product training across various modules in ServiceDesk Plus. As this is the very first episode for this year's Masterclass series, today we'll mainly focus on how to get started with Service Desk Plus Cloud. We will quickly have a check on the today's agenda. First, we will set up instance configuration such as sites, regions, and so on. Configuring custom domains for your organization through the ESM directory. Configuring the mail server and enabling automatic mail to ticket conversion, customizing help desk attributes such as category, priority, level, and so on, configuring the Zia chatbot to help end user leverage the self-service capability, and finally, visualizing help desk metrics through pre-built custom query reports and dashboards. Service Desk Plus Cloud is a SaaS-based help desk solution which is used by organizations to streamline and optimize their IT. Service Desk Plus Cloud provides you with Standard Edition, Professional Edition, and Enterprise Edition. In the Standard Edition, we provide incident management, self-service portal, knowledge base, multi-site support, SLA management, help desk reports. In the Professional Edition, we provide help desk management, IT asset management, software management, purchase, and contract management. Whereas in the Enterprise Edition, we provide incident management, problem management, change and release management, IT project management, service catalog, asset, and CMDB. If you would like to get more insights on the different features offered in various editions of Service Desk Plus Cloud, you can drop an email to hello@servicedeskplus.com. In today's Masterclass episode, we will be using the Enterprise Edition of Service Desk Plus Cloud. Now let's see how to get up and start running with your ITSM operation. First, we will walk you through the essential requirement that is needed to set up the instance and how we will be able to create users to access your Service Desk Plus Cloud instance. One of the basic essential that is needed to set up the instances are regions and sites. In every organization, there are various branches that is spread across various regions. In Service Desk Plus Cloud, these branches are called as sites. We will now see how to create site and region and how we can associate a region to a site. We will now log in to the application using an Enterprise Edition plan and navigate to Setup, Instance Configuration, Regions. You can make use of the New Region button to provide a name for the region along with a suitable description for the region. Along with this, you can also associate a regional role such as regional in charge, regional manager, and associate a user for the respective role. The regions can be manually created, or you can make use of CSV import to add the regions into the Service Desk Plus Cloud application. Now we will see how to create sites and associate the region with the site. Let's click on Sites and click on the New Site button, where you can provide a name for the site along with the suitable description. Now here you can associate the region which you have created that is going to be part of this respective site. Along with this, you can also provide time zone and language that will be used in the site. And you can also associate basic details such as address and contact information. On further scrolling down, we have site-specific characteristics such as department, technician, technician group, business rule, and service level agreement. For any site that you're creating, you can either copy from the default site if you want to copy all the characteristics that is available in the default or what we call as the base site and have your own site filter. Or you can click on refer settings where you can simply refer all the characteristics available in the referred site. If you choose for a custom setting, as you all know, With the term custom, it's completely not going to copy or inherit any site's configuration. You will have to specifically configure for the custom site. Along with this, you can also associate site-specific role such as site in charge and site manager and associate the user for the respective role. Sites can also either be added manually or you can make use of a CSV import, or you can allow the Active Directory sync to import the user where the sites will also be automatically created. Next, let's see how we can configure operational hours. As you all know, every organization will have their own standard operational hour, and when there are multiple sites associated, each site will have their own operational hour. We will quickly see how to create the operational hour and associate the site accordingly. We'll use the new button where you can provide a suitable name for the operational hour and you can associate the site or the technician group accordingly. If the site goes on a 24-hour basis, you can select around the clock button, or if it has a standard hour, you can enable the standard hour radio button and provide a start and end time. If there is a break hours included, you can make use of the break hours option and provide the start and end time of the break hours. For any organization, preferably Saturdays and Sundays would be a fixed non-working day. And there are certain exceptions where on an alternate Saturdays and Sundays, the companies would generally work. In such cases, we can define an exception where I can choose an alternate Saturday and I can also associate a custom hour for that respective Saturday. Next, we will see how I can create holiday groups across various sites and define the holidays that is going to be a part of that respective site. You can make use of holiday groups option and choose a new holiday group where you can provide a suitable name for the holiday group and apply it for either site or to a respective technician group. Once the holiday group has been created, you can simply associate holiday for the respective site. You can make use of the new button where you can specify the date of the holiday, and if this particular holiday is a repeated holiday every year, you can enable the repeat every year option. And you can also provide a suitable description for this holiday. You can also make use of the import option where you can automatically import holidays from a specific holiday group as well. Next is the department. As you all know, department was also one of the characteristics available within the respective site, and departments can also be created manually. You can make use of the new department option where you can specify the name of the department and then you can associate a department head. And you can also provide a suitable description for the department. Along with this, you can also associate department-specific role such as an approver or an in charge and associate a respective user. Departments can be manually added, or you can make use of CSV import, or you can allow the Active Directory to sync the user, which also syncs the department attribute as well. Next is the organization role. In ServiceDesk Plus Cloud application, we'll be able to define the organization's hierarchy as it will be helpful during the SLA calculation, approval, or even when triggering a custom notification. We provide the organization role right from a user level up to an organization level. We will now see how we can associate a user to a specific organization level. Let's click on the General Manager COO, and you can click on the Associate User, where you can simply associate a user to this respective role. And that's how simple it is. Let's have a quick refresh of what we have gone so far. We have configured the basic attributes such as creating of sites, regions, and also we have defined operational hours and configured holiday groups. And then we have also created departments and defined the organization role. Next, we will now see how to create users as well as technicians and how I can associate a role for a technician and create a user and a technician group. We will now connect back to the ServiceDesk Plus Cloud application and navigate to setup. Under users and permissions, we'll have to navigate to users, and you can make use of new requester button, where I can provide a name for this requester along with the email address for this requester. And on further scrolling down, we can also associate a site and department details for this requester. And you can also define what a requester is allowed to view. Only their own request, or all the requests in their department, or all their site requests, or simply you can give them the privilege to see all the requests in the instance. You can also associate a reporting manager for this user, and you can then enable the self-service login, which is to access the help desk platform. And on further scrolling down, you can simply click on Save, where a requester profile will get created and an invitation will be triggered to the user to join the organization. We have seen how to create a requester. We will now see how we can create a technician. We can click on the New Technician button and provide a name for the technician. And you can also associate the email address for the technician. Similar to a requester, we can also associate site and department along with the reporting manager. The only difference when it comes to creating a technician is we will have a site association as well as a group association. As you all know, a technician could be part of multiple sites, and they could also be part of multiple technician groups. So you can associate all those various different sites and all the different technician groups that they are going to be part of. And on further scrolling down, you can enable the login for this technician, where you will need to associate a role for the technician. Roles simply define the access permission those technicians would have across various modules. If I want to provide this specific technician with an admin privilege, I simply associate an admin level role, and I will simply save the profile. Once I click on save, a technician account will get created, and you can easily filter them by using the drop-down section to find the technicians and requesters in my platform. So if I click on the technicians, I can see the technicians who have been created, and an invitation email has been triggered to the respective user. This way, you can manually create the user, or we have various Active Directory sync using which you can onboard the users from your Active Directory into ServiceDesk Plus Cloud application. Now we'll see how we can create a role. So when I'm creating a technician, I showed you how to associate a role, but let me now show you how to create a more customizable role where you can define a more granular permission for the respective technicians. For this, we will navigate to the users and permissions and access roles and create a new custom role, where I can define the access permission across various modules that is offered in ServiceDesk Plus Cloud application. And you can also define a more advanced permission. Let's take a scenario where if you have a specific technician who should not directly resolve a ticket or move a ticket to an on-hold transition, we can make sure the resolving request and allow stop timer is being turned off. This way, their role does not permit them to move a ticket to on-hold or resolve a request. Also, if we further scroll down, you will now be able to define a view permission for a technician. Either they can access all the module data, or you can define a module level granular permission. This way, I can either associate the technician to see those tickets in their sites or all in their group, or simply when it's assigned to them. This way, I can make sure a technician A is not able to see a tech B group's request and vice versa. Now, let's see how we can group users and technicians into the respective groups. For this, we will navigate to the user groups, where we have created a user group called as HR, and we will be able to define more dynamic conditions such as department, email, job title, or organization roles, site, user, and VIP user, and so on. Using the dynamic condition provided, whichever user matches that particular criteria, they all will become part of this user group. Now, you would ask me, what is the benefit of creating a user group here? So with the help of user group, let's take a scenario where you have to make an announcement to only the HR users. So you can create an announcement and you can make sure this announcement is only published to HR user group. Similarly, we can create an onboarding template and make sure those onboarding templates is only visible to HR users and rest all users will not be able to access those templates. This way, I can make use of user group to make those permissions. Now let's see how we can create a technician group, for which we'll navigate to the users and permissions, technician groups, and create a new technician group, where I can provide a suitable name for the technician group, and you can associate the different technicians who are going to be part of this respective group. Along with this, you can also enable notifications such as whenever a new request has been added to the group or when a request in the group has been left unpicked, and you can notify either after n number of days, time, and hours. You can also define a notification when a request in the group has been updated. You can select the respective technician to whom you want the notification to be triggered. Along with this, you can also create group specific email address as well as the sender email address as well. Now next, we'll move on to the ESM directory where we can verify custom domains, customize the ESM portal, and create a department specific instances. For this, we will log in to the ServiceDesk Plus Cloud application using an organization admin privilege. And you will have to click on the three horizontal lines on the top left and navigate to the ESM directory. ESM is also called as Enterprise Service Management, where you will be able to manage your users and also configure your domain and SAML authentication and so on. Clicking on the user management title, you'll have a list of all the different users who are part of your organization. You can directly create users to this organization using the new user button, or you can simply click on the edit button to provide the time zone, language, and country detail in bulk to the respective users. You can also change the password or delete the user from this section as well. You can also make use of the import user menu where you can import the user directly from Azure as well. So they directly get added to your organization. Once the users are added, you can select them and add them to the respective ServiceDesk Plus Cloud instances, or you can remove them from the respective instances as well. Now let's see how we can create a custom domain and how we can create a custom URL using the domain being created. We will click on the custom domain and create a domain. So you can use a new domain to create a domain. Here I will take an example of a domain called primary.com. And in order for me to verify this particular domain, I can make use of two methods, either a CNAME method or HTML file method. If we are going with the CNAME method, you will need to create a CNAME entry in the external DNS management such that ZB95469523 is pointed to zmverify.zoho.com. And once the DNS has been propagated, you can come back and click on the verification button to verify the domain. Now, what are the benefits of verifying a domain? One, you take ownership of the domain within your organization. Number two, verifying domain is one of the main prerequisites to onboard user from Active Directory. And three, you can avoid sending invitation email when the domain is verified while onboarding users from AD. Now, since the domain has been verified, we will now see how to create a custom service URL using the verified domain. For this, we will navigate to the custom service URL, and you can choose a new service URL button and select the domain which we have verified and provide a suitable subdomain. Let's take an example where I'm going to provide the subdomain as helpdesk. Now, in order for this domain to be verified, I will need to create a CNAME entry in my DNS management such that helpdesk is pointed to customer-sdp on demand.manageengine.com. And once the DNS has been propagated, you can come back to the section and select verify and save. And once the CNAME is propagated, the custom URL get verified and automatically an SSL certificate will be generated and be applied in a couple of hours. This way, I make sure my users will be able to access the platform using the custom URL. Now we will see how I can create a SAML authentication to enforce my users to log in using the IDP account. We will navigate to the SAML authentication, and you will define the SAML in the respective IDP, where you will be provided with the login, logout URL along with the certificate details. We will need to update the login, logout URL and paste the certificate which is generated from the respective IDP. And once you hit on the save menu, the organizations will now be enforced with SAML. This way, when anyone tries to access the custom URL, they will directly be rerouted to your IDP login page where they can log in using the IDP account. But in order for the users to log in, they also need to be made sure they have a login permission within the ServiceDesk Plus Cloud application. Just to summarize of what we have gone so far, we were able to create a custom domain from the ESM directory. And using the custom domain we have created, we were able to define a custom service URL. Now, we also able to create a SAML authentication so that when users log in using the custom service URL, they were able to navigate to the application using their IDP login page. Now, before I go ahead with the next concept, have you all known that using ServiceDesk Plus Cloud, you can create department-specific instances? Yes, let me give you a scenario here where we have a fictitious company called Zilker who had a challenge of managing all the departments within a single instances. To overcome this, they have decided to create each instances for the respective department. This way, each department will have their unique help desk management system. Let me now show you how we can create this department specific instances and how we can also customize the ESM portal. Let's connect back to the enterprise service management and navigate to the service desk instances, and you can make use of the new instance button where you can specify the display name and provide the URL name for the instance, and you can select whether it's going to be an IT help desk or a facilities desk or a HR help desk. So if you have a HR department, you can go for a HR help desk and create a separate instance for HR department. And you can also select a suitable owner and the time zone that will be used within the respective instances. If you want all the users who are part of your organization to be added to the respective instances that we are creating by default, you can enable everyone in the organization, or you can simply specify users with permission for this instance. So you either manually add them from the user management portal, or we can configure Active Directory within the respective instance to add the user specific to that instance. Along with this, you can also create specific URL for your instance. So here, if you're going to create a HR instance, you can create an URL using hr.itsmtrainers.co.in. So users trying to access hr.itsmtrainers.co.in will be navigated to that respective instance accordingly. Now, the best part is you can either opt for a standard edition or a professional edition or enterprise edition, depending on the department's requirement. Next, we'll see how we can customize the ESM portal and how we can define a preferred landing page. So within the ESM portal, you can select the customized portal where using HTML and CSS, I can change the background of this specific landing page. And next, we'll be able to also define the preferred landing page. So in case of Zilker, where they're going to configure department-specific instances, we can select if all the user has to be by default landed to a specific instance, or we can simply set ESM portal as the default URL. So any user who tries to log in, by default, they will land on this ESM portal page where they can select the respective instance and navigate accordingly. Now, we will see how we can make use of the mail configuration to convert incoming mails into ServiceDesk Plus Cloud as a ticket. In ServiceDesk Plus Cloud, we have three methods using which you can configure mail server. First is the basic authentication. Two is the modern authentication, where you can connect your third-party applications such as Office 365, Outlook. And third is our in-house native mail server. Let me quickly navigate to the application and show you how we can define the three different sets of mail server settings. Let's connect to the setup and navigate to the mail settings and then mail server settings. Okay, now by clicking on switch to custom configuration, it takes me back to the basic configuration setup. So if you have an Exchange mail server, you can provide the server name or the IP address of your Exchange server, and you can specify the username, password, and the email address. And we currently support for incoming POP, POPs, IMAP, and IMAPs as the incoming email type. And for your outgoing, you can define the server name and the IP address along with the sender's name, reply to address, and the email type that we support for outgoing is SMTP with TLS, SMTPS, and SMTP. So once the mail server settings have been defined using an Exchange mail server, anyone sending an email to the email address that is being specified here, it will be automatically converted as tickets. And the email which is specified as a reply to address, all the outgoing that is being sent from the application will use that as the sender's address and send to the respective recipients. Now we will see how we can make use of modern authentication to connect to your third-party applications such as Office 365 or Outlook. We can use switch and configure, where I'll be able to select a mail service and select Office 365 or Outlook and proceed further. Upon proceeding, you will be redirected to Microsoft login, and once authenticated, you will be enforced with modern authentication using Office 365 or Outlook as your mail server. And third is our native mail server, where you can simply activate and navigate to the native mail server section. When it comes to native mail server, you will have a default support address that is being configured specific to your instances. And in order for native to work, you have to create a forwarding from your respective support address to the native mail server. And for your response to be sent using your support address, you can simply verify them using the mail address tab, where you can verify your email address and use that as the sender or reply to address. Now, the best part about modern auth and native is both the mailbox will be managed within the help desk instances. So no third outsiders will be able to access your mailbox, and only a technician who is probably having an admin privilege will be able to access the mailbox settings here. And when it comes to modern authentication, we mainly use IMAP and POP as the incoming protocols, and we use SMTP for outgoing. In case of native, we don't have any protocol-based fetching and sending out response from the application. And in case of native, the email to ticket conversion is much better when compared to modern and basic authentication. And for when you define a modern or a native, you will have a dedicated mailbox where you will have an inbox section, sent items, trash, filtered, and spam filter. In the inbox folder, you will have all the mails which may have probably been missed to be converted into tickets, where you can manually process them and convert into a ticket. Using the sent folder, you can see all the emails that has been sent from the application to the respective recipients. And in the trash folder, once all the tickets has been converted into request, they will then be moved into the trash filter. And you have a separate filter section where if you have disabled the option to allow outsiders to send email to convert as tickets, all those mails will be moved into the filter tab and will not be converted as a request. And then if you have any spam defined, and once the spam condition meets, all those mails will be moved into the spam folder. And if it is a legit email, you can mark them as not spam, or you can manually process them. Let's have a quick recap. So we were able to go through the different mail server settings available, such as modern, basic, and native mail server. Now next, we will see how we can make use of the mail filters to exclude a specific email from being created as request, and we'll see how we can make use of the email command functionality to pass a particular field attribute once a request is created via email. Let's connect to the mail filter, where I can enable the match the below rules option and choose either sender or to or CC or subject and description. Let's take a scenario where you have an advertisement email that is being sent to your help desk, and you do not want those advertisement mails to be converted as request. So you can simply specify the sender and include the advertisement mail address. And once you click on save, when an advertisement mail reaches your help desk mailbox, it will not be converted as request. And finally, we have the email command option. So once you enable email command, we can make use of the email command format where I can parse my incoming emails along with a particular field attribute. Let's take an example where I'm trying to pass the category and subcategory, and in my category, I'm providing the value as asset, and my subcategory is going to be hardware. Once the request has been created, uh, and once it is being converted as request, when you navigate to the details tab, we will have a category set as asset and subcategory set as hardware. This way, I can easily parse a particular field attribute making use of the email command functionality. And in order for email command to work, the user should have a valid login permission and also should have the permission to set the field value for the respective fields. Next, we will see how we can customize a couple of help desk attributes such as priority, level, and so on. We will navigate to setup, customization, help desk. So first is the category. As you all know, category helps classify the different types of requests into a more granular form. So within each category, you will have a subcategory classification, and within each subcategory, you will have an item. Now we'll see how we can create a new category, subcategory, item, and assign a technician accordingly. Let's create a new category called as hardware item, and I can associate it to the respective technician, which means anytime a user selects the category as hardware item, it automatically assigns a ticket to the respective technician, which is specified here. We can simply save and add a subcategory as and I can click on save and add the item, and I can simply specify the item value and click on save. This way, I can navigate to the category list and find my category, subcategory, and the item in it. Next is the status. Status will help us to determine the progress of the request to take necessary actions. In ServiceDesk Plus Cloud, we have two types of status. One is going to be an in progress, another one is going to be a completed transition. So we can make use of the default in progress or completed status available, or you can simply click on new status and create a custom status for your instance. You can either enable the in progress radio button or you can make use of the completed radio button. In case of an in progress, you can either stop the timer or you can make sure the timer is running. If it's a completed transitions, the stop timer will be disabled by default. And you can also you can associate a suitable color for the respective status. Next comes the level. Level will help us to indicate the complexity of a request. In this case, we have a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 level. You can create your own customizable levels as well. So what is the benefit of creating category or level or any of the help desk attributes? Using the selection of a particular field value by the user or by a technician, we can create various automations such as sending a custom notification or assigning a ticket to a specific agent. Let's take a scenario where if someone selects the tire level as tier 4, I can create an automation so that the ticket gets assigned to a specific agent. Next is the mode. Mode helps us to determine the various ways through which a request could be originated. So it could either be via email. So all the tickets that is being created via email will be set as email mode. And we also have live chat as one of the functionalities and features available. And anyone creating a request using live chat, the mode will be set as live chat. You can also make use of a mobile application to submit or create requests as well. So any tickets that is being submitted via mobile will be set as mobile application. And when you provide login permission access to requesters or technicians, and if they create a ticket from the web platform, the mode will be set as web form by default. You can also create your own custom mode by using the new mode option. Next is the impact, where impact measures the business criticality of the respective request. This impact could be in a business level or a department, or it could be on a specific regional level as well. So you can classify or create the various impacts that you will be using for your instance. And you can also define the urgency accordingly. Along with that, you can also create the priority for your instance. This priority could be a high, low, or medium. Now, the benefit of having an impact and urgency is because you can go and create a priority matrix so that based on the value of impact urgency, I can create a priority automatically. Let's take a scenario where I navigate to the priority matrix. Okay, and based on the urgency which is available on the top and the impact on the left, and based on the respective value, we can predefine what the priority could be. And we can also make sure the requesters and technicians do not override this matrix value. And by doing this, when creating a request, the priority field will be disabled by default, and upon selecting an impact and urgency, the priority value gets set. Let's try to create a request here, and I'll quickly show you how the priority can be set. So I'm going to create a default request where my priority value will be disabled by default. This way, the users can't input any value into it, and I'll have to select the impact and urgency so that the priority can be filled. Now, in order to make sure the users or technicians selects the impact and urgency, we can mandate the respective fields from the respective templates. Moving on next is the request type, task type, and work log type. So you can classify the different request type using which you can classify while creating a request, or you will have different tasks and work log accordingly, and you can classify the different types of tasks and work log within your instances. So let's take an example here where my task could be an implementation task, it could be a maintenance or a planning. So you can classify or identify the different types and add them accordingly, and using the new task type option. Along with this, you can also create a work log type, whether it's going to be an on-site visit or a remote assistance or a travel, etc. Finally, we have the closure code. So closure code will be utilized when you're trying to close a request. You can provide whether it was a successful close or you were unable to reproduce the issue and you are closing the request. You can create your own closure code accordingly. Let's summarize what we have gone through the help desk customization so far. We were able to create the categorization in terms of category, subcategory, and item. We were able to define the status value for your instances, and we were able to see how to create an in progress and completed transition. And you were able to define the different types of levels. And using impact, urgency, and priority, we were able to create a priority matrix to automatically set the priority value. And then you are able to create the different types of tasks, work log, and the closure code that you will be using in the instance. Next, let's make use of the Zia chatbot and let's see how to configure this to help end user leverage the self-service capabilities. Zia is Zoho's artificial intelligence that provides a comprehensive assistance to your help desk solution. Zia provides field predictions, and it also evaluates user responses and so on. Let me now quickly take you to the application and show you how we can enable the field prediction using Zia. We will first navigate to Setup, Zia, Artificial Intelligence. Here you can, under the request module, you can enable category, subcategory, item, priority, technician, and also template predictions. Now, in order for Zia to predict, we first need to train Zia. And in order to train Zia, we need to make sure there's a minimum of 100 requests in the instance. So right now, I have category predictions enabled and it's already being trained. So now when I'm trying to create a request and when I'm trying to select the category, Zia will be able to automatically predict me to use asset as the category. This way, I can also use for subcategory, item, or technician once Zia gets trained. Next is the Zia chatbot. Zia chatbot helps in bridging the gap between the end users and IT help desk. You can make use of Zia chatbot in various forms. You can use it in the web chat, or you can make use of the mobile application chat, or the voice chat available in the mobile app, or you can make use of the blended conversation. Zia chatbot can be configured in two ways. Either you can make use of the default Zia actions, such as create a request or adding a note, or you can make use of the blended conversations. Blended conversations are nothing but a flow chart with predefined Zia responses to a possible conversation. Let me just quickly take you into the answer FAQ blended conversation and show you how this will look like. So we will be able to construct a flowchart and define various Zia responses to a possible conversation. And once you have the flowchart configured, let me just show you how this will look like. That I'm just going to initiate a Zia and I'm just going to select the answer FAQ. Now Zia will be able to provide me with the various options. And if I'm really facing an issue with printer, I will choose the printer option and Zia will provide me with the solution and checks whether this recommended solution fixes my issue. If I say no, this does not fix my issue, then Zia allows me to raise a ticket and I will be able to submit the ticket to the respective team and the corresponding team will be addressing the issue. You can make use of the quick actions where you can select the topmost five Zia actions that can be visible for a technician or requesters while trying to initiate a Zia chatbot. So when initiating a Zia chatbot, you can use the three horizontal lines to see the topmost Zia actions that I can make use of. So if I'm going with the concept of creating a request, so once I click on create request, it asks me to fill a subject. A subject is one of the mandatory field for submitting a ticket. And once I click on enter, if I have any mandatory fields in the template, it will ask me to fill the mandatory details and the subcategory which is also a mandatory detail, and automatically Zia has created a request and I can use the view details section to check the request details accordingly. And next is the chatbot customization. So you can click on the customize menu and change the bot name or the header details, or you can also include your header icon accordingly. You can also change the welcome message, or if you like to change the bot theme, you can change them accordingly. If you want to you make use of the bot avatar, you can select the respective avatar, or you can create your own customizable avatars. If you want the chatbot to automatically pop up, you can enable this menu. And if you want to clear the chat on browser refresh, you can enable the option accordingly and click on save. Just to summarize here, we have gone through the Zia prediction, and we have also made use of the Zia actions and blended conversations where we were able to predefine responses so users can select a respective answer and get their queries answered. We were also able to make use of the quick actions where we were able to create the topmost five actions that can be visible to a requester and technician, and we were able to change the look of the chatbot using the customization menu. Next, we will see how we can make use of the reports and dashboards functionality. Let's connect to the application and navigate to reports. And under the all report folders, we have provided around 100 plus default reports which you can generate. So if I want to generate a report to see how many requests has been the time elapsed by changes in status, I can simply run the report and it will provide me an output. You can then save this report and move them to a specific folder, and you can also schedule this report on a frequency of a daily or weekly, monthly, or if you want to schedule them as a one time, you can also schedule them. You can choose a report for which you're going to schedule it and select a suitable format. You can also select the recipient to whom this report needs to be scheduled and also provide a subject and a message. And once you click on schedule, at the respective time, the report will automatically be sent via email in the suitable format selected accordingly. You can also make use of the query report section available where we have provided a couple of default queries and you can generate the report and schedule them accordingly. You can also make use of the drill down analysis where you can specify a criteria such as created date and select the time period of last month and you can click on apply. This way, I'm able to see how many tickets has been created last month, and I can also further drill down based on various dynamic conditions. If I want to further drill down based on the respective sites, I can drill down based on the respective sites. And if I also want to further drill down based on the requester, I can also further drill down as well. Like this, you can keep on drilling down depending on a specific dynamic condition. Next, we will see how we can enable a dashboard widget and how we can enable a executive dashboards to your end users. Let's quickly create a report using the new custom report menu, and I will call this report as category, and I'll proceed to the report wizard and choose my category as category. I'm sorry, the column as category. And on the bottom, I have a chart menu where I'm quickly going to create a pie chart and select the axis column as category. Once I click on run the report, it will provide me with an output of all the ticket with the respective categories mapped. If I want this widget to be displayed to the dashboard, I simply save the report and I will enable access to dashboard. And once I click on save, I can now navigate to the home tab where I have the dashboard management section, and I can simply customize this dashboard and include the widget that I have created. And once I click on update layout, the widgets will be available in the dashboard section. This way, you can either make use of the available default widgets, or you can simply enable the chart in the respective report and bring them to the dashboard section. Now we'll see how we can create a specific dashboard for an end user. For this, we will navigate to the dashboard, and I have already created, or we can create a new custom dashboard and enable an executive dashboard option. And once you enable executive dashboard, you can then customize and enable the shade option where you can add the participant or the user group to whom you're going to share this. And this is also one of the benefit of having a user group where you can enable a dashboard and make it shared to the respective user groups, so only users part of that group will be able to see the dashboard. Now once you have enabled and customized and saved this dashboard, and when you log in as an end user or a requester, there will be a separate dashboard tab where they can access the different default widgets that is available to them. Let's summarize what we have gone so far. We have seen over 100 plus pre-built reports, and we were able to generate query reports and schedule them on a periodic basis. And we are able to make use of drill down analysis to make use of a suitable criteria and see the number of tickets and further drill down based on a dynamic condition. We then were able to create a custom report and enable chart widget to add them to the respective dashboard. And we made use of executive dashboard option to bring those reports to the requester's login. Let's have a quick recap of what we have gone so far today. We have configured instance details such as sites, roles, users, and technician groups. We have added and invited end users to the instance and enabled self-service adoption. We have verified custom domains, customized the ESM portal, and ensured a secured login with SAML authentication. We have set up mail server settings to convert incoming emails into tickets and utilized email commands to pull up fields using variables. We have customized the instance by pre-filling fields such as category, status, priority matrix, and so on. We have enabled smart predictions through Zia, customized the look and feel of Zia chatbot. We then build a conversational path for every possible scenarios between the Zia chatbot and end users with predefined responses and service desk actions. We finally visualized help desk metrics through pre-built and custom query reports, drill down analysis, and dashboard that drives data-driven decision making. We'll come to an end for today's session, and for any other further questions, you can directly drop an email to ServiceDesk Plus-Cloud-support@ManageEngine.com, and I'm adding the same in the chat as well. In order to learn more, you can make use of our support portal or the admin guide, release notes, or product videos, or you can also visit our YouTube channel where we have posted our previous masterclass. You can also drop an email to hello@servicedeskplus.com for any further assistance. Thank you and see you all in the next episode of Masterclass. Have a great day.